In this video, I'm going to be working through problem set 10-2. So in question 1, we're looking for the standard form of the parabola, given that the vertex is at the origin. So for part A, the focus is at -9.5, 0. The vertex is at the origin, and the focus is somewhere here. So that tells us the parabola will open to the left. So because it's a horizontal parabola, we're going to use the y-squared equation. H and k are both 0, so we have y² equals 4 times -9.5 x. The reason is because p equals -9.5, because p is the distance from the vertex to the focus. So our answer is y² equals -18x. For part B, the focus is at 0, half. So the vertex is at the origin. The focus is here, 0, 1/2. So that tells us that the parabola faces upwards. So we'll have x² equals 4 times 1/2, which is 2y. Part C, focus is at 3/2, 0. So p equals +3/2. So our formula is y² equals 4 times 3/2, which is 6x. Now for D, our directrix is y equals 2. So that's a horizontal line here. And if the vertex is at the origin, that means that the focus must be here. Since this is y equals 2, the focus must be 0, -2. So p is equal to -2 in this case. Of -8y. Question E, x equals -1 is our directrix. Our vertex is at the origin, so that means our focus must be at 1, 0. So we have a horizontal parabola, so we use the y² equation. P must be +1, so y² equals 4x. Then for F, x equals 3 is our directrix. So the focus is going to be at -3, 0. Our vertex is at the origin. So P is equal to -3 in this case. We have y² equals -12x. Moving on to question 2. Now we're given the vertex and the focus, and the vertex is no longer at the origin. So the first question, part A, a vertex is at 6, 3, and the focus is at 4, 3. So that means that the parabola always opens towards the focus. So it's a horizontal parabola facing left. So that tells us that P equals -2 because it's negative because it opens to the left, and it's 2 because the focus is 2 units away from the vertex. And so our equation is going to be, well, first of all, the vertex h comma k is equal to 6 comma 3, and P is equal to -2. So using the second equation, y minus 3 squared equals -8 times x minus h. For question B, the vertex is at 3 comma 2, and the focus is at 3 comma -8. So that means that this is a vertical parabola facing downwards. Which tells us that we're going to use the first equation, x minus h squared. H is 3, it's the vertex, h minus 3 squared. Here, P is going to equal -10, because to go from the vertex to the focus, we're going 10 units down. P is -10, then 4P is -40. Y minus K is Y minus 2. Part C. Now we're given the vertex 0, 2. We're also given the directrix y equals 4. And so that tells us that the focus must be at the origin, because the vertex is in between the directrix and the focus. So a problem must look like that. So this is a vertical parabola opening downwards. So this is x minus h, which is 0. So we'll have x squared equals P is -2, and so this is -8 times y minus k, which is y minus 2. D, the vertex is at 1, 2. And the directrix is y equals -1. So based on that information, the focus must be here, and it's going to be at 1, 5. Because to go from the directrix to the vertex, that's 3 units, and so we need to go another 3 units to get to the focus. This is +3. This has to be another +3. So that means the parabola is going to be upward facing. So we have x minus 1 squared. P is going to equal +3. It's 12 times y minus k, which is y minus 2. Question E. the focus is at 2, 2, and the directrix is at x equals -2. So that's a vertical line, which tells us that the vertex must be in between those two, and that's 0, +2. So we have a rightward facing parabola, which means we'll have y minus 2 squared. Here, p is going to be +2, so we have 8 times x minus 0. F, focus is at 0, 0, and the directrix is at y equals 8, which is a horizontal line. That tells us that the vertex must be at 0, 4. This parabola opens downwards. So because it's opening downwards, we're going to have x minus h. H is 0, so we have x squared. Now p is equal to -4. And so we have 4 times -4, which is -16, and k is 4. Continuing on to question 3. Our goal is to convert these into standard form. So the first one is just x minus 0 squared equals 4 times 1/2 y minus 0, because 2 is equal to 4 times 1/2. So that tells us that the vertex is 0, 0, and p is 1/2. Well, first of all, this is a vertical parabola, right? So a vertical parabola, and it's facing upwards because p is positive. P is 1/2. So the focus must be at 0, 1/2. And the directrix has to be on the opposite side. And it's a horizontal line, so it's going to be equal to y equals -1/2. If you don't have the y equals, it's going to be wrong. Next question. Y squared equals -6x. That's the same as y minus 0 squared equals -12. Sorry. Equals 4 times -3/2 times x minus 0. So the vertex is once again 0, 0. And this is a horizontal parabola facing left because p is -3/2. So the focus is here, and the directrix is going to be here. So the focus will be at -3/2, 0, and the directrix is at x equals +3/2. Part C. Here we have x plus y squared equals 0. Let's make sure the y squared is isolated. So y squared equals -x, which is the same as 4 times -4x, right? So once again, the vertex is at 0, 0. And this is a horizontal parabola facing left. and P is equal to negative 1/4. So the focus here is going to be equal to negative 1/4 comma 0, and the directrix will be x equals positive 1/4. Part D. Here we have x plus 5 plus y minus 1 squared equals 0. That's the same as y minus 1 squared equals negative x plus 5. And so because the coefficient is negative 1, that means p equals negative 1/4. So this is a horizontal parabola facing left again. But now the vertex is at, sorry, let me write out the vertex. The vertex is going to be negative 5 comma 1. Negative 5, because that's x minus negative 5. And here we have y minus 1. So negative 5 comma 1 is right here. And it's horizontal opening left. So it has to look like that. Which means that the focus must be here and the directrix will be here. So the focus is going to be, I'm going to subtract 1/4 from the x coordinate, which leaves me with negative 21 over 4 comma 1. And the directrix, now I'm going to add 1/4 because the directrix is to the right of the vertex. So the directrix will be equal to x equals negative 19 over 4. Let's do part E. Here we have y plus 7 squared equals 4 times x minus 3/2. It tells us that the vertex is equal to 3/2 comma negative 7. And p is equal to 1, p is equal to 1 because 4p is 4. Now if we graphed this, 3/2 comma negative 7 is here. And this is a horizontal parabola that opens to the right. And so the focus, we're going to add 1. The focus will be here. And the directrix will be here. So the focus, we're going to add 1 to the x-coordinate. Leaves us with 5/2 negative 7. And the directrix is x equals 3/2 minus 1, which is 1/2. Let's do part F. Y equals 1/4 times x squared minus 2x plus 5. Let's isolate both sides. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 4. Then subtract 5 from both sides as well. Now I'm going to complete the square on the right-hand side. So to complete the square, I add 1 on the right side. 4y minus 4 equals x squared minus 2x plus 1. That gives me 4 times y minus 1 equals x minus 1 squared. That's in standard form now. So this tells me that the vertex is 1 comma 1. P is equal to 1 because 4p is 4. If I graph this, this should be a vertical parabola opening upwards with a vertex of 1 comma 1. And P is 1, so the focus is here and the directrix is there. So the focus should be at 1 comma 2. And the directrix should be y equals 0. Let's do g. Y squared plus 6y plus 8x plus 25 equals 0. Let's isolate the variables. To complete the square, I add 6 divided by 2, which is 3. And 3 squared equals 9 to both sides. That factors as y plus 3 squared equals negative 8 times x plus 2. So the vertex is negative 2 comma negative 3, and p is equal to negative 8 divided by 4, which is negative 2. This is a parabola that opens, should be leftwards. It's a horizontal parabola because it has y squared, and then because p is negative, it should open to the left. And so negative 2 comma negative 3 is somewhere here. Then it opens to the left, which tells me that the focus is here, and the directrix is there. So the focus, I'm going to go left 2 units. It's negative 4 comma negative 3. And the directrix, I go right 2 units, x equals 0. Question H, x squared minus 4x minus 4y equals 0. Isolate both sides. Complete the square. So the vertex is 2 comma negative 1. P is equal to 1. And this is a parabola that opens upwards. The vertex at 2 comma negative 1. So the focus is here, and the directrix will be there. So our focus is at 2 comma 0. The directrix is y equals negative 2. Question I, x squared plus 4x minus 6y equals minus 10. I'm going to complete the square, bring the 6y to the other side. 6y minus 10 plus 4 is negative 6. So that leaves me with x plus 2 squared equals 6 times y minus 1. So the vertex is negative 2 comma 1. P is equal to 6 divided by 4, 3/2. Once again, this opens upward. So my focus is here. My directrix should be there. The focus will be negative 2 comma, and I'm moving up 3/2 units, so that will give me 5/2. The directrix is going to be y equals 1 minus 3/2, which is negative half. J, x squared minus 2x plus 8y equals negative 9. X squared minus 2x plus 1 to complete the square. Minus 8y minus 9 plus 1 is minus 8. X minus 1 squared equals negative 8 times y plus 1. So the vertex is 1 comma negative 1. P is equal to negative 2. This opens downwards. So here's the focus, and here would be the directrix. The focus is 2 units down, so it's 1 minus 3, 1 comma negative 3. And the directrix will be 2 units up, so y equals 1. Question K, y squared plus x plus y equals 0. Let's do a separation of variables. Y squared plus y equals negative x. All right, to complete the square, I'm going to take the linear coefficient, which is 1, then divide by 2, so 1/2, then square it. That'll give me 1/4. So I'll have y squared plus y plus 1/4 equals negative x plus 1/4. That factors as y plus 1/2 squared equals negative x minus 1/4. And you have to factor out the coefficient of x. So that tells me that the vertex is equal to 1/4 comma negative half, which means that p is equal to negative 1 divided by 4, this coefficient here. So p is negative 1/4. And this parabola opens to the left because it has a y squared and a negative p. 1/4 negative half. And so the focus is here, directrix is there. Focus will be 1/4 to the left, 0 comma negative half, and the directrix is x equals 1/4 plus 1/4, which is x equals half. Let's do L now. Y squared minus 4x minus 4 equals 0. I can move the x's to the other side and just directly factor that. Now I have a y squared, so this is horizontal opening to the right. The vertex is negative 1 comma 0. P is equal to 4 divided by 4. Negative 1 comma 0 is here, and it opens to the right. So that means the focus is here. Directrix is there. So the focus is at 0 comma 0, and the directrix is at x equals negative 2. And hope that was helpful. That concludes the video.